Chief Ash here with the Punch Button special review for Turkey Day. We watched a B movie called ThanksKilling, which has a bit of a following behind it. Um, I I'm a huge fan of movies that are they're B movies. They're made terribly, like grindhouse esque films that you watch them just for the fact that it's so stupid. It's funny. And in this movie, you get about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of that, and then the hilarity just goes away, and it's just too stupid to comprehend. You'd have to be extremely inebriated or high to enjoy this movie in any way, shape, or form. I would not recommend this movie in any way. There's a couple of neat little quips, little one-liners from the turkey. But besides that, there's not enough in the story. There's not enough in the dialogue, the acting. Bad actors in some B movies. It's so bad. It's funny, yeah, but at this point, it's like they're trying to be so bad that they're just bad. It's not hilarious. The movie's not that great. It's not good. It's not worth it. It's only an hour runtime, hour and 6 minutes. If it was maybe 20 minutes, that's when you could watch it. So, I would avoid it. But hey, can't win them all. Keep watching.
Hey, Nick Fleury here. I just watched ThanksKilling for the first time and probably the only time I will ever watch the movie. It wasn't great, wasn't good, wasn't even bad. It was horrible. Seriously, watching it, I couldn't think of a reason why this movie was made because it's very confusing. It has some parts where it's funny, but that's only because of the bad acting matched with this very, very, very horrible dialogue. And for me, I couldn't decide whether the filmmaker's original intention was to make a B movie slash comedy, or what did it just fall apart that way and he just decided, yeah, I'm gonna just stick with this, because maybe he pulled a Tommy Wiseau from The Room, who originally intended for the movie to be a drama, but instead called it a comedy when people started laughing at it. But ThanksKilling, I would not recommend it unless you want a good laugh, and yeah, go for it. But other than that, no, stay clear of it.
Hey guys, Subparlobster here, and today we're going to talk about the holiday classic, ThanksKilling. Now, ThanksKilling is, as you'd expect, a B movie. A B movie that follows a killer turkey as he stalks a group of teens when they go out on a kind of a Thanksgiving vacation. So the film picks up pretty early on with a turkey, the turkey with kind of Freddy Krueger dialogue. I don't know if that was very much intentional, but he's gonna yell out kind of those catchphrases as he kills people and such, and do that whole Freddy Krueger thing. The characters in this movie are all terrible. They're dull. They're very stereotypical. There's the fat guy who's hungry and southern. There's the lead jock guy. There's the young innocent girl, and then there's the slutty girl and the nerd who doesn't really fit in as much with the cool kids. So the movie starts off exactly as you'd expect. All these characters are going on a Thanksgiving vacation, and they're bringing along their nerdy friend for plot purposes, story reasons. I don't know. Anyway, the movie picks up pretty early on. These characters with probably second year film student acting. I mean, not to diss on film students, but it's that special kind of acting where the you could tell the people who are in the movie are probably either also working on stuff behind the camera and just had to jump in and do some scenes. So these characters are pretty unforgettable, pretty awful, but some of their awkward dialogue makes for some really good moments, and that's probably the best part about just in general in this movie is the dialogue, because there's some pretty really funny lines. Um, the first shot of the turkey that you really get is when he kills a dog. And this thing that the turkey always does, no matter who he's killing, is he always kind of comes out and he looks at the camera. And he kind of breaks that fourth wall where he just gives you an eye, and then he does something. So he kills the dog. This old hermit hunter dude gets all pissed off and is now after this turkey. So that's kind of where starts off the whole moment of carnage. So then you have these students who I think they're high school students or college. I don't think they're high school students, but they stop on their road trip and they basically see the turkey. He doesn't really kill any of them yet, but they get away from the turkey and run away, and then one by one the turkey begins to stalk and try to kill them all and their families. And this leads to some pretty hilarious moments, such as oh fuck, I'm not gonna worry about spoiling. Spoilers ahead if you haven't and really want to see ThanksKilling. There's some great moments, including the turkey killing one of the girl's dads and wearing his face, and somehow all the kids just fall for this. None of them they understand that this turkey wearing a person's face is not. Anyway, then there's a moment where a turkey fucks the slutty girl. That's pretty hilarious. They even make reference to it later when they find a small condom that's gravy flavored. So as you can see all the humor we're dealing with in this movie. It's not for the highbrow comedy aficionados. This is pretty crass to say the least, but it's pretty enjoyable. Probably my two favorite lines in the entire movie. Probably the whole favorite part of the movies is when the bigger dude is basically, I guess he's hungry or something, and he hallucinates and sees like a really crappy CGI turkey leg, and he eats it, and yeah, and then the ThanksKilling turkey pops through his chest like fucking facehugger style, alien style, chest burster style, and he says, "Gobble gobble, bitch." That is probably one of the best lines of dialogue, if not for the second my favorite scene in the entire movie, when the kids all figure out how they're supposed to kill the turkey, and that's supposed to be by burning it on like a cross, like a witch. Okay, whatever. And the innocent girl says, "Let's get this cock," and they all kind of look at her and they turn around and they say, "Do you mean this turkey?" And she says, "No, Darren, I was talking about a dick." Now that single line made this whole movie worth it for me, and I'm sure that's just me. I'm just weird like that because I find that kind of stuff hilarious, but really the dialogue is what I think made this movie awesome because it was so bad. The humor was so like early 2000s American Pie funny. Like it's very low, not it's what you'd expect from a run of the mill terrible comedy horror movie. Now, my biggest problem with it is I didn't actually find it as entertaining as I wanted it to be. Is like this movie had it like the makings to be a genius B movie, kind of on the same level as something like Troll 2, but it just wasn't quite there. It was missing something, and I'm not really sure exactly what that was. It had the really hilarious dialogue and the cheesy acting. That was fine. There were some good turkey kill scenes, though the kill scenes were better basically because of the turkey's dialogue. Again, the actual deaths in this movie are all pretty tame. I mean, the effects aren't. I think there's some crappy CGI elements, and then there's some crappy gore elements. I mean, really, the turkey busting out of the chest is probably the best actual death scene in the entire movie. The rest of them are all pretty terrible. I think after he finishes having sex with the one girl, he ends up just snapping her neck like really quickly. You don't really see what happens there, so it's not great. I think that's what really holds this movie back, honestly. Like, as terrible as this movie is, like, this is like a 2 out of 10 if we're looking at it like on a star count. But what really holds this movie back is that it doesn't, like, it's not as good of a B movie as you want it to be. It's one of those things that you see on the shelf in a movie store and you say that's hilarious. But when you go home and actually watch it, there's not as much, like, hilarity behind it. It's, some really hilariously funny dialogue, but that's about it. I mean, the turkey's funny. He has some good moments where he looks at the camera. There's this one really great scene where he is talking to the sheriff before he kills him, and the sheriff just thinks he is a little person and constantly keeps making comments like that. And finally he just says, "Well, this is awkward," and decides to leave before he finally snaps and kills the sheriff. So it has some really good small black humor moments that I did really like. And there's some good, like, awkward dialogue scenes that are funny, but overall, the actual, even as a B movie, I don't think this holds up very well. It's not as funny as you want it to be. It's there's not as many good death scenes. There's never gets truly ridiculous. Like, yeah, it seems like it would be the kind of movie that would be off the wall crazy, but it just never gets there. It stays pretty tame, surprisingly. It actually, It plays out like any other slasher. I mean, if you watch the Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, that's basically what you're getting here. But it never tries to explore good like death options. He never uses any crazy weapons or does anything really outrageous. He kind of just sticks to like snapping people's necks and stabbing them. I think this movie is a good concept. It's a funny idea, but even at an hour and like 6 minutes, it's still I don't think it's worth it. It's one of those movies that you see on a shelf and you're like, that's hilarious. There's a movie called ThanksKilling about a killer turkey, and I think that's really where it needs to stop. If you're really bored and you really just want to laugh at something in the background, maybe that this could be a good option for you. Throw it on, listen to some funny dialogue. There's some good moments, but I think at best, if you really got to check it out, watch some of the best clips on YouTube and pass it, because ThanksKilling, even by B movie standards, is pretty terrible. This has been Subparlobster for your view on ThanksKilling, and yeah, there you go.
Hey guys, Chief Ash here, telling you, if you like what you saw, let us know. Drop a comment down below, drop a suggestion so we know what to make later. Like, subscribe, message us suggestions, or just that you appreciated what we put up, or whatever you want. We'll read it. Thank you, and keep watching.